This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian. Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we typically watch the best movies ever made according to IMDb, and then sometimes we take a detour to look at what the Oscars are saying are worth a watch. And this week we figured there's a movie that has 13 nominations, which is quite a lot, almost record-breaking. And we watched a pretty good foreign movie last week, and we thought, hey, maybe we should take a look to see what most likely is going to win the award, and that is this year's Emilia Perez, which is a French language movie, or a Spanish language movie, but French movie, directed by Jacques. I am sorry, I can't pronounce French names. The dude is from France. We can talk some shit on him later, but I'm going to go first this week. I don't know if I've done this 2 weeks in a row, but
Go ahead.
I need to go first because my 20 seconds is, I was worried going into this movie that we'd have to do a some type of warning to like say, we're accepting people, all this stuff. Like, I didn't know if any of the topics would seem taboo, but this movie is so bad that I am not worried about touching on anything because it is such a crappy movie. It is amazing. I was shocked.
That was more than 20 seconds.
My 20 seconds. No, my 20 seconds started when I said 20 seconds, John.
Okay.
I'm going next. So, bad writing, full of stupid tropes, unbelievable chain of events. Too many songs were like poorly mixed and poorly written. I think we're wasting our time even discussing it, and I cannot believe it was nominated for that many awards.
Yeah, bad movie. I like Zoe Saldana's performance. Some of her songs and stuff were good, but holy crap, it's some of the worst singing, dancing, and when the lyrics were in English, really bad. This felt like just an opportunistic movie. Oh, this is good. Oh, she's this, and oh, she's from Mexico. Oh, that disappeared. It just seemed like they were just trying to pile things together for mass appeal without giving a shit about them.
Like last week, we were sitting here and you're saying, this movie doesn't call attention to itself. This movie doesn't call attention.
Right.
And this one could not be more of the exact opposite of that. The entire film is look at me.
Right.
But is there any story behind it? No, but listen to the voiceover because it's going to tell you what's coming up next. And what other stupid thing can we show you that Mexicans do? Oh, yeah, that's that. And then, but did a trans. You should feel bad for them. But he's a fucking murderer.
Yeah, that
so
part
right off the bat, they're
yeah.
fucking losing me. I was like, you're telling me I'm supposed to feel bad for this guy,
right?
It makes no sense.
But the thing is, the movie was so bad too. It's like I kind of got that because the main character was following her, and she got emotional about this person's transition, and she got like invested in it, but she just ignored the murder part of the whole thing. I'm like, what am I supposed to be thinking here? Are these just all bad people? They're not really showing them as bad people, but they kind of all are.
And then the ending. Oh, and they all blow up in the car. The end.
Yeah, that was hilarious. There were a couple times in this movie where I laughed really, really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Specifically, dude, I would say if you're listening and you shouldn't watch this movie in its entirety. Fast forward to 20 minutes, and then I'll give you a pitch perfect rendition of Zoe Saldana singing the best song in this movie and maybe one of the best songs I've ever heard. Hello, nice to meet you. I'd like to hear about this exchange operation. That is exactly how it is sung in the movie. I did it exactly right. That is pitch perfect.
You're right.
I'm a fucking movie star.
Oh, you are. Well,
I didn't like how they really took after they like did some shitty version of Hamilton in some of the songs.
See, that's what I thought. It was just the talking. It was like, I talk at one note, and then I lower a note once, and then I talk one note, and then I go up next time, and then the next time. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is so bad. This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
I liked when she was walking through the city. There was one sequence there that was.
I'm going to pounce on you, John.
Yeah.
There was no good parts of this movie.
There were absolutely no good parts. All the songs sucked.
I enjoyed it. I thought
miserable.
Zoe Saldana is a good
which song?
dancer.
Which one is it?
She's
Sorry,
just walking
John.
through the. You're introduced to her character. She's walking through the city, and she's rehearsing.
Who are we talking about right now?
What's that?
Which character? You're saying
Zoe's walking through the city. She's rehearsing her speech that she's going to give, or the prosecutor.
God, that was terrible.
So
when she's like in the supermarket,
that
being
was
like,
so stupid.
Oh, that was bad, man. The thing is falling apart right now. We're like a couple weeks before the Oscars. Voting is going on right now, and at the end of January, there was like an article we can get into it from that Carla Sofia Gascon, the person who plays the trans woman in this movie, she apparently is a piece of shit in real life. Someone dove into her tweets and she had like some really bad things to say about George Floyd. She had some really weird things to say about COVID in China. She had some anti-Israeli stuff. She's just like has some really fucking controversial tweets.
Yep.
And Netflix has since distanced herself entirely from her. So she's not going to go to the awards. They're not paying her to go to any of these like promotions for the movie anymore. It's like falling apart in real time right now.
Yeah, because it was.
I mean, that's
it
good.
was,
It should get nothing.
This movie should get nothing.
But it was
Holy
the front
shit.
runner. It
Get
was the
nothing.
front runner.
How?
Right?
Is
Initially.
my first
Dude,
question.
you know why? There's this woman. Her name is Lisa Tabak. Damn it. Did I write down wrong? I can't read my own fucking handwriting. There's this woman, Lisa Tabak, who what she does is she runs Oscar campaigns for movie studios. And she mostly works with the Miramax company and the Weinstein company. And she is responsible for these movies winning Best Picture: The English Patient, Life is Beautiful, Shakespeare in Love, Chicago, The King's Speech, and The Artist, all of which are widely considered to be the worst movies ever to win a Best Picture
Wow.
Oscar.
So
And
this one just has pull and
Is
it's
this
just
about- is this about the PR?
excellent at her job. Or she knows she's a good
Right.
salesman and knows exactly who she's selling to, Hollywood elites, and she can be like, this movie's really important because of so-and-so, and we all love this thing
Sure.
that's so important in Hollywood, and
Right.
she's fucking
right.
great
And then,
at it.
like
It's
all
amazing.
of a sudden, nobody's getting fucking praise for the stuff that's good. You're
Right.
just getting praise for what's fucking greased in the wheel.
This movie got nominated for Best Cinematography. I mean, that was
What?
fucking shocking. Best
How
sound.
can that even
Best sound.
Best sound?
Yeah,
Get the
dude,
fuck out of here.
13
It is
nominations.
possibly the worst sound I've heard in a movie in anywhere near the contemporary world I live
Yeah.
in. That is the worst thing I've ever heard.
Dude, some of the songs, I don't even know if they were songs. Like, they would raise the shitty music up a
and
little
what was
bit.
the fucking like? Okay, one person singing ADR, the other person's in a room, and they're like mixing it together into one song.
Yep.
What the fuck are you guys doing in there? That's all I kept thinking when I was listening to it.
And nobody could
Unreal.
sing. And nobody could sing a fucking
None.
note. Even with auto-tune, they sounded terrible.
How is
And
like
on top of
Selena
that,
Gomez
they
sounding
can't
so
even
bad?
lip sync like they singing.
yeah.
Right? They can't even lip sync correctly.
And on
It
top of
looked so
that, their
bad.
accents were fucked the entire time.
Her accent
And
was miserable. Her English, and when she spoke English, it was probably the most pathetic Spanish accent I've ever heard in my life. I was like, "What is this? Like some kind of mix of Arabic and like and regular American? I mean, I don't understand." Holy shit, man!
And when she was in Tel Aviv in the doctor's office, and there was that Jewish doctor, and he couldn't sing because they had to show how freaking Jewish he was.
Yeah.
So like he just had to be Jewish instead of being able to sing.
Yep.
That was fucking offensive. So much of this movie was fucking offensive. There was
Oh
like
my God,
the
it was
song
awful.
where he's like, "You smell like my Mexican dad because you smell like Diet Coke, mezcal, and guacamole." You're like, "What the fuck?"
What
I'm not offended
is
by
going
this,
on
but
here?
this seems offensive.
right, right. And why is this in the movie?
Yeah, because the guy is a French dude who doesn't speak English or Spanish and doesn't know anything about Mexican culture.
Right.
That's why.
Right.
He wrote a play about this that got
so
popular.
This person lives in France, is existing in France, and he writes this movie, and this is what we get when that
Yeah,
happens.
apparently. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he said in an interview, we're just going to cut right into trivia too.
That's
'cause,
fine, go ahead.
This guy's he seems like
Whatever,
a
yeah.
fucking idiot. He's like, I know a little bit about Mexico, but I didn't do any research on it. I felt like I had enough of an idea of what it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's give this one all the awards.
Or
That makes sense.
trans people for that matter, or everything
Same.
basically. I didn't know anything about any of that, but I felt I knew enough. You know, I can.
And they tried to, and like all this stuff, you can. There's a lot of stuff online about this. They kept digging their own holes. Like they kept trying to explain themselves as all this shit came out. As every interview they did got negative press, and they just kept digging holes. Like one of the interviews that this director had, he basically said like, well, you know, the Spanish language is great because it's like it's a poor language, like it's for like working people and poor people, and everyone's like, what the fuck, dude?
Nice.
You can't say that. And it got so bad that they had this whole festival thing set up in Mexico to show the movie, and nobody showed up except for the one person in the cast that was actually Mexican. So everyone else canceled day of, and she had to carry the entire fucking event
man.
by herself.
Wow. Wow.
Everyone involved in this movie is a fucking idiot. This movie is fucking terrible. It is insane how it got so many nominations. History is not going to
Well,
look back.
like you said,
nicely on
it's like this. It could be this. Well, okay, it's a PR campaign, and again, If and maybe part of the PR is just listing the topics. You got transgender, you got Mexico, you've got the disappeared, you've got it all, and it's a musical, and all those things kind of bulleted list add up to pretty good Oscar bait.
Read the bullets. Right? Don't watch the movie. Just read the bullets and then vote for this movie.
Right. So I guess maybe, but man, yeah.
Someone got it in an email and they were like, that'll be great.
But like you said, TC,
didn't think twice.
There couldn't be more of a contrast between this film and the film we watched last week. I mean, in terms of a good film and a bad film. Just
a really good film.
It was just, I kept hearing it in my head from the last episode being like, it does so much by doing so little, and this one does nothing with way too much. Way too much.
That's a good point.
It had the opportunity to say something, and it basically said absolutely nothing about anything that it was writing about. Zero.
And that's just the writing.
No
right?
statement.
And that's just the writing. The writing was abysmal. Yeah. It didn't
brutal.
Yeah, there's every part of it. Nothing in this movie clicked. There wasn't a second of this movie where I was like, oh, that 2 seconds worked, right? It felt like nobody was comfortable in their parts. Everything seemed like a soap opera in the way they acted it. All of the editing seemed really chopped together. There was a part where it cut from like somebody crying at a bar to Selena Gomez had a song with her boyfriend out of fucking nowhere. And then after that song, it cut to an old video game of people skiing. And I was like, what is this editing? Like, I don't even know where the fuck I am.
By the way, what were the jump cuts about? There were multiple jump cuts. Something that is not allowed. I don't care. Only allowed if like you're using the jump cut to say something specific and that's enhancing the message.
It's because they can't act and they had to splice together different takes.
Literally, middle of them walking, she says thank you, and then it cuts and they're almost like halfway back from where they just were, and then they continue the conversation. Like they had no way to connect the dots, and they're like, we got to put the jump cut in. Fuck it. There was another one that I couldn't understand either that was like she was basically in front of this pink and purple background and in the middle of that weird song, and she was supposed to be like caught up in her mind, but all we see is a background of like this purple glistening pink weird flat, nothing else there. And it's like, did they literally just not have an edit and they had to shoot that in to
shot it at the mall? That's
work?
One of those places you can go to at the mall in the 90s. You have to buy the VHS tape, but the rest is pretty cheap.
I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. It was like they literally just ran out of shit to edit in, and so they reshot stuff, put it in there, and we're like, nobody will notice, right?
No one's gonna watch this, right? We're not gonna get Oscars for this.
Jesus Christ! Look, it was like a bad college, film project that someone made way too long. And here we are.
It was what I thought it was like it was a bad soap opera mixed with a bad high school production of Hamilton. That's what it felt like.
Boom, wrap it. Right? That's it. We're done.
It felt so amateur is incredible.
It did.
I was like in shock. I was like, am I a psycho? Like I felt crazy at sometimes. I'm just like, this got a lot of awards. Like, this is really bad. Am I wrong? Am I completely insane?
No, not at all. Not even close. I mean, there was no way. First, because you sent the text message, but after I started watching, I literally got to 10 minutes. I got to 10 minutes in and said to myself, can I just text them back and do the same joke Denny did?
Yeah, it wasn't a joke,
45 minutes in?
Oh, I should mention.
I don't think I can make this 45 minutes in at all, and I'm only 10 minutes in, and this is miserable.
So you guys can vouch for me. How many times have I asked to punt out of the 400-something movies that we've watched?
Almost
I don't think you've ever asked to punt. Have you ever asked to punt?
I'm not sure.
I don't think you ever have.
I don't remember, and it's not very frequently.
What I love is that there's an ask to punt. You don't you just punt.
I don't know how it works. I've never punted before. I had to ask.
That's how good you are at this, right? I know.
I
didn't know. The thing is, I knew one of you probably watched it already, and I didn't want you to beat the shit out of me if I canceled it, because then you would have watched it for no goddamn reason.
That's also
I'm glad that didn't happen. I would have been so pissed.
Right. So I didn't want you to be mad at me. Is my thought there. So.
Right.
Because I would have been pissed if one of you said, I can't make it. And I'd be like, no, you're fucking making it. I'm flying to you.
Yeah, no. We're doing this one. I don't give a shit. This has got to get it over with.
This 2 hours that I just wasted has to be worth something, guys.
Why was it so long? It was so long.
The songs went on forever.
Everything happened.
Everything had to go on forever. You're right, though. Even
I didn't even know where I was in the middle of the movie. There was that one, like, I even forgot at some times that it was like a musical, but then all of a sudden she was in this banquet for the murderer, who is now a good guy since the sex change changes who you are as a person.
Apparently.
So that's cool.
That's not you. That person's dead. So I'm a new person now.
Yeah.
I get the symbolism, but it's a little too far.
Yeah. And this, so also her, I don't know if you noticed, another controversial thing is that her skin color changed from before and after. She was darker skin, and the actress
I didn't know
actually was put on in brown face for the movie.
That's
to make her look even more like a bad guy?
You should do.
Yeah.
Wow,
this
one's really falling apart on them, huh?
Yeah.
You're not shutting us up, John.
Heads
You're
are
not
gonna roll.
squelching this.
No. I just, there's still some memorable quotes. My pussy hurts every time I think of you. That was
what
my
was that? That came out of nowhere.
I laughed at
Didn't
that.
it?
I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh my god, that came out of fucking nowhere.
I know. I was like, what is that? What were you trying to accomplish here? Was that supposed to be like racy, sexy, something? Like
I think
edgy,
that's it.
sexy.
There was a lot of shock.
But
Yeah.
it's just like that was just bad, really bad. Yeah.
How does this go into an awards?
I don't know.
An award ceremony like the Oscars. I don't.
Well,
I don't
but you're right
understand.
in terms of like some of these other films. I mean, but all the other films you mentioned, Denny, were still better than this by quite a ways. Yeah, King's Speech is one of your favorites.
Yeah.
We all know.
Well, the person is a seasoned veteran, John. She's getting better and better as the years
I
go
guess so,
on.
yeah.
You know? She can take any piece of shit and turn it into a record-setting Oscar.
She doesn't even have to read the script anymore. She just,
You know what?
does
She
her
knows
work.
what strings to pull.
but
And
this
apparently,
year-
Netflix dumped a shit ton of money into this campaign too,
Yeah.
so I'm sure that probably factors in.
Probably helped. Also,
you can
also,
buy Oscars.
There's not. It's not clear who's going to even before like this year seems to have been kind of sparse, right? As far as
Not that sparse.
Yeah, I know,
Not
I know.
this sparse. You don't have to nominate 10 movies. That's like the maximum.
I know.
Right? There's plenty to fill it out without
I guess
even
It
mentioning
just-
it. I didn't need to know about this movie. I'm upset that it made me aware of this movie. Although that song really will be stuck in my head for I think a long time.
Nice.
The stupid little jingle is hilarious when the doctor's like from penis to vagina.
Oh yeah,
What is
when they were singing in English, it just became real apparent how bad the lyrics were. Like, I mean, when it's in Spanish, you don't
Men
know. Like,
to
you're just-
women. Women to men.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Zoe Saldana's like learning. She's like, men to women. You're like, oh my God, you're repeating it because you have to remember
it's
it?
fucking Sesame Street is what this is.
Yeah.
You have Elmo in the back
So
doing
bad.
this.
my God.
I watched like half of it, and Naomi was like in the kitchen cooking with her AirPods on. I was laughing so hard. I paused it, rewound it, waited for Naomi to like get a pause in the task, and I was like, get in here. You have to watch this song. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Yeah.
I don't feel bad laughing at it either because the writer-director seems like a real fucking idiot for trying to make this
again,
movie.
Yeah, it seems again like he was just capitalizing on shit in either arrogant or just
And it's not trying to do anything positive for anybody, right?
No, there's
It's like-
and there's nothing. It's
Right.
not. There's no statement. There's no story.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just journalism of some unrealistic situation with an unrealistic set of
and
characters.
maybe,
And I'm not
yeah.
like what also makes me mad is this movie seems like it exploits the transgender topic
each and every topic it
to get
exploits.
awards.
Right.
Right?
Every topic it
Yeah.
does.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is
The
fucked
amount
up.
of Mexican tropes that we've all, come to really probably disregard at this point in film.
Right.
You
You
just
think, this
stuff
would-
you're not supposed to
but
capitalize on anymore
Right.
is all over it.
And
It's
this,
all
this
over
would
it.
be a really good time for some kind of real in-depth or emotionally moving portrayal of any of these issues. It'd be a real
Yep.
good time for that.
Yep.
We could sort of use that, but
But instead of
no.
what should happen, John, it was bought.
Right.
It was fucking bought. It's reflecting reality, really. This
Right.
is the world we live in.
That's that. I mean, that is kind of true.
That's right.
Right. Just our old men in us is really getting to us these days. The fucking films and the French and the assholes and the kids. Jesus Christ.
Right.
It's the internet age, guys.
It's all bought and paid for.
Time to go get a homestead in Alaska and call it quits.
Yeah. Let me, and we don't do this very frequently, but I want to do this right now just because I feel like, number one, I want to repeat that this movie got nominated for Best Cinematography, and The Girl with the Needle did not get nominated for Best Cinematography. That in
Wow.
itself is a fucking travesty because The Girl with the Needle, I think, is the best looking movie of the year, and it didn't get nominated.
Yeah.
And this did, and this looked like shit. They kept trying, I don't know how they justify any of it. Like, they tried different styles, and all of them failed. Like, they would do fake news reporting, but then they would have like a 4-camera setup, and they would cut, like TC was saying, in between dialogue because the people probably can't act, that sort of thing. It didn't come off as smooth. It came off as like mistakes throughout the movie.
Absolutely.
Best international feature film, again, probably going to win it. Achievement in makeup and hairstyling.
What?
I thought the guy is, or when he was a guy in the beginning, his beard looked like, you ever seen that Jackass skit where they take the guy and they put him in the back of the cab and he thinks he's being abducted by somebody and he's wearing like a fake beard, and the beard is all pubes though, like all the detail stuff. Everyone in the cast and crew shaved their pubes and put it in, and they put it on him, and his beard looked like that. That's what his beard looked like. You don't get an Oscar for that.
Beard pubes. How do you get an Oscar for that? Makes no sense.
Find out. Stay tuned. Best achievement in music written for a motion picture, original score, and original song. 2 separate Oscar nominees right there.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
And the song that got nominated is there's 2 songs. 2 songs got nominated. El Mal and Mi Camino.
It's going to be fun to watch those be performed at the Oscars itself. That's going to be great.
Half the cast
I'm
isn't
not
allowed
watching
to
the
be
Oscars.
there.
I mean, I never watch the Oscars, but I'm definitely not watching them
I really
now.
enjoyed them last year. I had a good time watching them last year.
Well, you're going to be sorely mistaken.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
This guy
Conan
comes
O'Brien,
around.
come on. He's good. Do we like Conan?
Yeah, that's
I like
true. I do
Conan.
like Conan.
Yeah.
I like Conan.
Best sound, TC. Best sound.
I don't.
Best
That I
achievement
definitely
in-
disagree with.
Best achievement in directing. Best performance by an actress in a leading role. Carla Sofia Garzon, who plays the trans person. She's not a lead in this movie. Zoe Saldana is the lead, and she gets a supporting actress role.
Right.
I don't get that.
Did anybody watch the movie?
Yeah, that's a
Or did
really
they
good
just-
question.
I don't like.
I think you're really onto something there, TC. I think a lot of people probably don't bother to watch.
No,
any of the
you
movies,
just
and
got
they
the bullet
get
points. You got the bullet
Right.
points. You know, and you're like,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
That's
All
a
right,
really
you
good
know.
Right.
point. That's probably what happened, and everything else was so spread
But
out.
I've always, I don't know. I've always often,
This is crazy.
often not liked
There's no way.
musicals though. But I know this is really,
But
really
this
bad.
isn't
but
even a musical.
I know,
This is
I
like
know.
some
It's true.
stupid spoken
There's-
word.
That's a good
fucking
point.
I'm gonna
shitty-
so the top comment on the so if you look up, you can watch the Sex Change Operation song on YouTube, and the top comment on there is, "This is what musicals sound like to people who hate musicals."
Oh, that's fair.
That is a really good.
It's really good.
For the people that don't know music, these songs are fantastic.
This is exactly.
It's idiocracy in front of us.
I
Basically.
love it.
That's what's happening.
What a great comment.
Yeah, cinematography and film editing and adapted screenplay. He adapted his own screenplay. You can get an Oscar nomination for that, apparently. Killers of the Flower Moon had 10 Oscar nominations, and we were all banking on that getting 0, and it got 0. Hooray. I think there's also a difference between, like, the shortlisting of things and the nomination of things, right? Because
they think it's like, hey, it's like the Donald Trump of like, hey, I gave you what I said I would give you. It doesn't mean you're still going to be working here tomorrow. But hey, I gave you what I said I would give you, which is an Oscar nomination. I'm sorry you couldn't win it. That's too bad, but hey, you got it.
I don't
And you
appreciate
can't say
us
that I
talking about
didn't give it
Trump,
to you.
and I also don't appreciate how bad your impression is of Trump. No, I think it's just like with the short list, you have like, 30 movies you have to watch or something like that. So people just like say, fuck it, I'm not going to watch 30 movies. But then
I'll
when
give
it's
you
5.
the first 10 or whatever. I'll
Yeah.
give you a first 5, and then the rest are.
But then when it's
screwed.
whittled down to the list and it's only like 5 movies you have to watch, then I'm sure a lot more people watch it. So that means like if anything bad slips through, like all 13 of these nominations, there's probably no chance it's going to win anything.
I would hope not.
I would fucking hope not too. Like Zoe Saldana winning over Demi Moore, that'd be bad.
Yeah.
That would be really pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like Zoe was trying. She was trying.
She tried way too hard.
I don't know.
She wasn't very good,
It
though.
was bad directing. Terrible directing.
maybe,
They let
but-
her act like that in front of the screen. Her dancing was like jerky.
Really bad.
It was jerky and weird. And like the one of the lines that like made me scratch my head was, "She's the skinniest goddamn actress on the screen." And there's a lyric where she's like, "My fat ass," and they show her like grabbing her ass. I'm like,
Which is right.
has no
That's-
ass.
That's also fair.
there's zero ass.
I mean,
Is this a
she's,
joke?
she's
Someone
got,
else,
she's
I
got
guess.
body
Did they
image
write this for
problems.
somebody
That's
else?
all. You know, that's okay.
Well, the thing is, this guy wrote this movie before casting anybody, obviously.
Yeah.
So he probably had that lyric written, and then they went and they tried to cast as many Mexican people as they could to keep it authentic, but they couldn't find anybody good, you guys. So they went with people who would make it good.
There just aren't any
Is
Mexicans.
one of the things that
Good
the director
Mexicans.
also said.
He said, awesome. Way to go.
Yeah. Like literally, there's so many articles of how these people keep digging themselves holes and how they try to respond to these things. It's kind of amazing. Like they're fucking it up because they're all idiots. They're all
Right.
idiots.
Right.
It's
Right.
brutal.
Wow.
And
I'm really glad we watched it, Denny.
Yeah.
I'm still blaming you for this.
It's sort of an important watch in a way, just because. I mean,
Don't blame me.
I don't know. Anyway.
it's important if it wins the Best Picture. Like, it can't win Best Picture. I don't see a world where it wins Best Picture at this point. But
I
if
sure
it
hope
does,
not.
if it does, it'll be like talked about forever. If it doesn't, then we'll talk about it for a couple of years. It'll be a joke, and then people will like forget about it forever.
Yeah, probably so.
So hopefully it goes 0
I
for
don't know,
13.
people can move on pretty quick too. It's like what Shakespeare in Love won, and that beat out shit. What was it? Was it Pulp Fiction?
Saving Private Ryan?
Or Saving Private Ryan too, and that just like, it doesn't make any sense in retrospect, but people don't keep bringing it up really. Although it didn't
make sense then. People thought it was stupid then, but it's just like the disconnect between most people and the people voting in Hollywood. There's a difference. They like frilly clothes in Hollywood. They love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They love it when the directors really like stretch things out to show how powerful directors can be. Like, oh, he's commanding the audience because it is long and shitty. Isn't that great?
Nice. Long and shitty. And then they blow up the trunk of a car.
I laughed pretty hard at that. I honestly didn't see that coming. I had no idea where this movie was going. But just
I don't
blowing everyone up
think
in the
they
car
had
at
no
the end.
idea either.
go
They
anywhere.
had no idea. So there's okay. We gotta wrap this up. Let's just blow them up in their trunk.
Could have
Blow her
picked
up in
any
her trunk.
time to end that movie.
Yeah.
And there's so much wrong with this movie
Same.
that it's can't even touch on the stupid plot things. Like when Zoe Saldana comes by herself with a bag of cash, she's standing in front of a
Dude.
bunch of people with guns, being like, "Let her go," and they're like, "Why don't you just fucking shoot her? She has no gun. She has no backup. Shoot her. Take the money." I don't understand why she thought this person was a good person. Person kidnapped her, basically threatened her life, and forced her to do this thing.
It was so
And they didn't set up a
inconsistent.
friendship at all.
No,
It was
no.
like, I'm forcing you to do this. And
Right.
then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, I'm your friend now.
Yeah.
What?
And she's like, "I agree. We're besties." And you're like, "What the fuck is happening right
You're
now?"
not supposed to be her friend.
Yeah.
She's a murderer.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I didn't get it.
This makes no
I was
sense.
so confused.
And like this whole I'm the cousin routine, like you're okay with this? Why are you okay with this? I don't get it.
Either.
I don't get it.
Yeah. And the guy didn't think about what was going to happen to his family getting this, transition here. It's like, you have kids. This is going to get really messy, You have to weigh the options. You have to be okay with your decisions
Well, he
here.
obviously knew because he faked his own death.
No, none of it mattered.
Right?
Again, none of it matters. It's just played. It's just again
Shut up,
opportunistic.
John.
It's played for sympathy stuff. Okay. Oh, now he misses his kids.
Hate on it, John.
Or now she misses his kids. Sorry. Now
It's so
she
rare we
misses
get to
his
hate
kids.
on it
Now-
so freely, John. It's so great.
And so we need to do that. And again, it just I still like that early dance number. I was like, okay, I liked it. It looked like it was something I
didn't
hadn't
like
really
it.
seen before.
Whatever you liked, John.
I know.
Get it
I
out of here.
was sort of
No,
hopeful.
it's terrible.
Maybe.
It was like
if
they
I go
tried to
back
rip
and
off-
watch it again, now that I've seen the rest of the film, I might hate it now too.
Oh, you better.
I might have been
or
like-
you're not allowed on the podcast.
Okay, fine.
If
I might have been
if
just
you
like-
like this film at all, you're not allowed to listen,
All right.
and you're not allowed to be on it.
Oh, he's getting kicked off. This is it.
It's impressive. I mean, if
It's
you
a
look
long
at,
time coming.
If you look at, yeah, it's fair. I know it. I knew this day was going to happen. I knew it, man. Fine, just end it. Just end it now.
We're calling to be obliterated by nuclear blasts in this movie. This is how bad this movie is.
But there's a lot of respected critics giving it some praise.
I think they're all afraid.
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve said this is one of his favorite movies of the year. Guillermo del Toro said the same thing. He thought it was like, I forget exactly what it is. I think these people, honestly, and I could be very wrong on this one. I'll say that. First, this movie's bad, but this opinion could be very wrong, and I apologize if this opinion offends you. I think they're afraid of offending people by saying how bad it is.
Yeah,
Because-
that's fair
Of
too.
course.
It's everyone's praising it. They don't want to be the only person to not praise it. They get called out, and that's just bad. Like, because people don't read articles anymore. They just get headlines, and then they're just like people pointing fingers. They get like things trending. I'd be afraid to be famous these days too, and everybody fucking is because they want to keep their careers.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
So I can see it, and it sucks
I
that
think
we're
there's
here.
money involved too.
Yeah.
I think people get paid
Right.
in certain quid pro quos.
Well, I mean, again,
If
we
you give
don't
me
usually
a nod on this
it's
one. I'll
just-
give you a nod on the next one.
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
You want to play friendly, so you can hire this woman who can make your movie win Best Picture, right? You want to burn the bridge with her? She's fucking
It's
magic.
called
over here.
it's called being diplomatic.
That's also fair.
Something
Yeah,
I don't
guess.
understand.
Yeah.
And then not my strong suit.
Michael Mann calls it a contemporary masterpiece. Deli Venue said it as one of their favorite films, 2024. James Cameron, who worked with Zoe Saldana, called it bold and daring. Emily Blunt called it, maybe this was the guarded. Emily Blunt calls it a singular experience.
That's a really good thing.
That's diplomacy,
That's
baby.
a good one.
Yeah,
Way to
you can't
go,
tell
Emily.
if it's a compliment or an insult.
Right.
That is,
Those are
that
the
is
best.
smart.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a
there's
smart
just
response.
all these industry figures expressing admiration.
This is unlike anything I've ever experienced, and I'll never forget it for the rest of my life.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro, our friend and buddy, said it's so beautiful to see a movie that is cinema.
Very vague.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
This movie was indeed screen.
Hey, you made a movie. Ha ha. Wow. Hey, there you go, bud. You did good. You did good.
Conversely,
That's what that
Mexican
means.
cinematographer Rodrigo Prieto described the experience as watching the film as offensive and completely inauthentic.
Okay, that seems
Again,
more like
it would be a good time to have some powerful messages on these topics, and instead, this is something that the people who hate this kind of stuff could look at and go, "See how awful all this stuff is."
Yeah, that sucks. That really sucks.
Hey, but they made money.
I did that.
No, they didn't. No, they
okay.
didn't.
There
it was
you go.
a fucking failure on all fronts, except for these weird nominations.
Well,
that they
someone
got.
bought it for Netflix, right? I'm sure they got a pretty.
Yeah,
penny.
Netflix
They
may
got
be giving money.
16 million.
Does that factor in the?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I don't
It
know who
does
gets
for the
paid.
people-
I
it
mean,
does-
the money,
it does for the
money
people
goes
putting in the
somewhere.
money. Put it
right,
that
the
way.
money goes
Yeah.
somewhere.
Someone made money off this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took her. Netflix took Gascon off the poster.
Yep.
Just completely said, "Well, she doesn't exist anymore."
Isn't that weird? People don't know if
That's
she's going to
good.
be attending the Oscars. She's nominated for one. They don't know.
And they can go back into some AI and just redraw the face. Someone else.
Yeah, her. Did you read about her controversies? Like,
Yeah,
her
she
tweets,
just-
and then she tried to explain herself. She compared herself, like her struggles as a trans person, to black people, which pissed a lot of people off.
Right.
She did a
It's
CNN
not working,
interview
yeah.
without Netflix's permission, where she continued to dig her hole deeper. Yeah, she basically said like all the things that are coming out about her are people misreading or people trying to smear her, even though the articles are just posting the tweets that she said. Like, there's no smearing at all. She's
Yeah,
just trying to
that's-
it's all bad.
That's bad.
And it's happening now. If you're interested in this stuff, we record a few days before posting it. Check it out. Oscars are really soon. She might be tanking this entire Oscar campaign for this movie, which is, a little glorious to behold.
That's
Fuck
right.
it.
That's right.
But also, just all bad, really.
It's all bad. Like, it's not really that glorious to behold. The fact that
was
it's
gonna say.
happening is just sad.
Yeah, it's just all bad.
Um,
As Mercy said, come nuclear bomb. Nuclear bomb.
keep your eyes open for the white flash. Yeah. It's the most brilliant thing you've ever seen.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, I think she liked him because of what he showed me.
Who
Which
like
was
what?
so she I was just trying to figure out what the plot was. So Zoe Saldana's character was talking about why she liked the freaking goddamn it, I can't remember anybody's name. Emilia Perez, it's the name of the movie.
Yeah,
Why she
there
liked
you go.
Emilia's character, and she said it was because of what she showed me.
Right.
And I was like, what did she show her? She showed her partially developed breasts on the truck. So that's why?
No, showed
Is
her
that what
her
she's talking about?
suffering or her pain. I don't know.
Yeah, I would
But
think it's more
Yeah.
like John said.
Even though she flashed her?
Like,
there
not
for-
literally.
It's like,
Titties, you know.
That's what I thought.
Hey, they were really nice. So
Wait,
I
idiot.
feel for you now. I don't care if you murder people or
No.
sold drugs, you know.
Yeah, she's got nice boobs. That's all we care about.
You were vulnerable to me, and that's all that matters. Yeah, sure.
All the sons are whispering or rapping. Why aren't they singing? Why did nobody sing in this movie?
Because they can't
I don't know,
sing.
this-
Because
it was
also
just
the
not modern,
songs,
Denny.
the
That's not
songs did not
modern.
have melodies. Also,
Yeah.
So-
we gotta capitalize on the Hamilton earnings.
yeah,
okay?
but Hamilton is really good. But yeah, of course, that goes without saying. Although you didn't like Hamilton as much, right? I'm sure you liked Hamilton a lot more than this.
Well, right.
If I didn't like Hamilton, imagine how much I disliked the
Yes, I
music
know,
in
I
this
know.
movie.
That's so true.
I was literally shocked the entire movie. I thought it was crazy. I was like, there must be something wrong with my brain because this is so bad.
No, I mean,
think
it
don't
seemed like
understand anything.
satire. It didn't even feel like it was
Nah.
supposed to be serious. That's how bad it was. Because then you
Yeah.
figure out it is trying to be
There were
serious.
times where I was like, is this trying to be like bad and funny? Like they're purposely
No.
doing it badly?
No,
but
it's
there were
just
a lot of-
lifetime
you're gonna watch
quality.
You know, in the
Yeah,
Oscars,
that's
you're going
all.
to sit there and watch this film get praised left and right. You know, as they like review. You know, in each of those awards, how they're going to do the segment. It's going to be interesting to watch them talk about just how wonderful it is, because that's what they do for every single nominated film. So then, and this
Right.
has more nominations, right, than any other film this year.
This year, and the second most of all time.
Which maybe
Wow.
that's like you said, Denny. Maybe that's all by design, right? They're like, hey,
PR.
we gave them, you got yours. You got the nominations. That's all you get, though.
Yeah,
That's gotta look
Okay.
bad though. If you get
Right?
one nomination, you don't win anything. That's pretty good. If you hit 13 and win 0, that looks fucking
well,
terrible.
no,
I mean, it's happened
then
all
they're gonna
close,
say,
though, right?
yeah,
10?
but
I mean,
then
that's
they're, I
pretty damn close.
wonder if they're going to be like, oh, we got snubbed. We got a film that
they're
is,
gonna try about
it's
it
just
for
the
fucking
typical
sure.
Hollywood
right.
Yeah.
stereotype.
and Hollywood
the world
can't-
isn't ready for the message we're trying
right,
to give
right.
them.
As bold and meaningful as our message is.
And if you get a sex change, you can forget about your violent murdering past because you get a free pass afterwards because
That's
you're
right.
a different person. I read an article about, so GLAAD took a bunch of the trans people's reviews of this movie, and one of the biggest points is that this movie portrays the trans transformation. And I'm speaking from this article, I know nothing about this stuff, but the trans transformation as portrayed in this movie is as if you change who you are as opposed to becoming who you are. Right? Like you are yourself, and this movie is
Which
like you become a different
inherently
person.
not what they're trying to tell everyone
right.
is the reason they exist.
Yeah.
Right.
So it just gets everything wrong. It's a miserable movie to watch.
It's just
nothing redeeming
all
about
bad.
it. It's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
I almost shut it off. Fuck this movie. This has got to be one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Oh,
Well,
come on. We've
so
seen,
with that,
have we seen
would
No.
you put this in the
John,
top 250?
This is worse. Whatever you're about to say, this is worse.
It's going to be fun when we make our list. So we get to that. We might get to have what we might have is
What really topped it off was at the end. Sorry, John, keep that thought.
I know.
The ending song starts off by saying, "I dedicate this poem" in a stupid rap rock voice, and then continues to just talk.
Yeah.
Like when is the poem starting? Song. Is this whole thing the poem?
That's
Do you
the
think this
poem,
is poetry?
Danny. You just don't understand art, and you don't understand creativity in the modern age.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
They call it a musical crime comedy too. I mean, do they even think it's a comedy?
They
Are
don't
they
know what
trying
it
to make a
is.
comedy?
You watch that and you don't know what it is, so you're like, we're going to name it 4 different things,
Yeah.
and then that's what it is.
You laughed. Hey, look at that! It worked, huh?
Hey,
We're
look,
good.
it was crime, it was
sure.
comedy, I think.
Ooh.
What else you got? Horror? Maybe.
What do you think? Yeah. Avant-garde. Come on.
Sorry, John. What were you going to say? I apologize.
It's just an idea for when we get to doing our list. I think we can also have a lot of fun with not just that we'll do our 250 list, but we can have some movie fights around the bottom.
Movie fight. We have to have a theme song for that one.
I
That'd be
know.
a good
We
one.
need a movie fight theme song, but yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't tell you about
like
movie
that.
fights.
Have you heard about that, TC?
No.
Well, when we're going to do our lists, and that will aggregate a list, and then when we have the aggregated list, any movie that ties, we have to have a movie fight to decide
On the
like,
podcast.
like which
like it.
for any two movies, we have to decide which one is above and which one is below the other, and that might then
Okay.
result in other ties. But then that means we have other movie fights, right?
Right.
So
Cascading
just-
movie fights.
Right, and so then we
I
just
like
we keep track of the winner of any movie fight, so that if any movie ties with another movie, either they've already fought, so we know which one it ranks above it, or we have to have the fight, and then that's a discussion that we have in the podcast.
Right. I love it.
But even we
Sounds
can
good.
also have movie fights down at the bottom, which might be a lot of fun
That'll
too.
be fun.
Nice.
Like, so we don't even have to stick with the 250. We can have movies way down at the bottom, having ties, and sit here and have some real arguments about which movie is
About like
worse.
the worst of the worst movies.
Yeah, I think it
Room
makes some
versus
right. I
this
think
one.
it'd make for some interesting discussions about trying
Yeah.
to come up with which movie really was worse.
I think this movie is, we'll see what time says, but this movie feels like one I'm going to remember, which is not
Yeah.
the kind of, like that makes it even
There
worse.
you go.
Like a lot
See?
of bad movies are forgettable.
That's
to
what,
a
that's what
point,
you
but,
can
like,
say if you're Hollywood. You say, this movie really made an impression on me. You got to say
Yeah.
it. It was a singular experience.
Oh, that's a good one.
It changed me.
That's, yeah.
It changed me.
It changed me.
I told all of my friends about it.
Right. I had to stop and go get my wife.
Yeah, and say, look at this. Can you believe what you're seeing right now?
See? It's a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
It is good.
So people familiar with accents, Spanish accents, claim that Zoe's accent throughout the movie is American when she speaks English, but also Colombian, Puerto Rican, and Dominican, none of which are Mexican. Yeah. So she happens upon 3 other Spanish accents that are not the one she's supposed to have.
Oh, because she's just making it up as she goes.
Yeah, and that's why they gave her the backstory, some people say, about, growing up in, where did she say, Dominican Republic, I think?
Oh, right, yeah.
So someplace that's not Mexico.
Right.
Because they're like, her accent's so bad, we have to put this in the movie.
We need an excuse to be like, oh, this is why it's bad. But then again, she went to school in Mexico the entire time, so she would have had a Mexican accent. Not a good enough excuse.
No.
Movie sucks.
It was bad. Yep.
Selena Gomez was brought in, also supposed to be a Mexican person in the movie, but her accent was so bad that they made her an American that speaks Spanish.
Oh, okay.
That's why she was American in the movie. And she doesn't know how to speak Spanish, so she was basically reciting her lines. Like, memorizing and reciting them. They thought that she was going to be better than Mexican actors. The fucking director was like,
her name's
these Mexican
Gomez,
actors
right?
can't act. I need fucking Selena Gomez to speak a language she doesn't understand to come in here and sing this shitty fucking song with her ass hanging out. People will think that's brave, and we'll give it a fucking Oscars for that.
Right.
This movie sucks.
This movie's so bad.
This is fun.
So
I'm
bad.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm having a good time over here.
Okay, that's fine.
Is it fine, John? Thank you.
It
Thank
is
you for
totally
putting
fine.
it.
You may proceed.
You may keep going.
Enjoy
This
yourself.
movie got a
Hate on it.
This movie got a 9-minute standing ovation at the Cannes Film Festival.
No.
Uh-huh.
Again, people are afraid. They have to
People are
clap. They're
afraid.
like, if I don't clap for this, they're going to fucking shoot me.
Uh-huh.
So I better clap.
Yeah.
I want to come back next year, and I better clap.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's still standing up. Who's going to sit down first? I don't want to be the first person to sit down. People will notice.
Everyone's looking at each other like, are you going down? Or am I going to go down?
I'm not fucking going down.
I'm not
I can
going
stand it
down.
for days. The movie was 2.5 hours long. I can stand it for the next 45 minutes if you want me to. Yeah, shot entirely in the studio. He didn't give a shit about Mexican culture when he made it. He said that movies, when pressed against why he misrepresented Mexican people so much, he said that movies aren't about making statements, they're about asking questions. And if anybody didn't like the questions that he was asking, maybe he should have asked different questions or some bullshit like that. I'm paraphrasing. But he's basically saying, I didn't make a movie to say anything. I'm just making shit up as I go. So don't be mad at me.
That's like that one refuge of the idiots. It's like, I'm just asking questions here. You know, are they lizard people? I don't know. I'm just asking questions.
Can humans fly? I don't think anyone knows that. I'm just asking questions.
No. Did I misrepresent the Mexicans? I don't know. Just questions. Yeah. What are Mexicans? I don't know. I'm just asking the questions here.
The guy's just on CNN, digging straight down. Right. Keep talking, buddy.
I wonder why people keep asking about it. This is awesome. Yeah. This is gold, guys. Look at this guy. All these people.
They're kicking people off the tour. They're canceling events. They're not showing up to events in the past month.
They're probably having an awesome time with this. It's like, you got to get these people on your show, man. They just keep digging these holes. We're going to totally crash this one successful Oscar campaign. Let's get them on.
And today is Wednesday, the 12th. Selena Gomez has, if you're following this, famously been silent on this whole controversy until today. She said something very vague for the first time, and she just said she was sad that all the magic that the movie had a month ago is gone.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Yeah, she said she's still proud of it. She'd still do the movie again, but she's sad that the magic is gone.
She's like, I too.
She's like, a performer and dancer. This movie made her look so bad.
Oh my God, bad.
I mean,
she was embarrassed about it too, mostly about her accent, but she's on record saying, I knew I didn't have a good Spanish accent. I can't even speak Spanish. So I was worried about it, and I wanted to have more takes to do the things, but she didn't get it because the direction was fucking terrible.
It must have been terrible. I mean, the singing and her dancing is terrible.
She's like a on the teenage girl trying to pretend to be Cyndi Lauper in the 80s.
Yes,
on one of those stupid songs where they're just rolling around in the bed, right?
Yeah,
it was just
this is really bad. Yes, but you're right. Maybe it's too that it's Yeah, the director is like, that's good. This is great. This is great. No, I don't think that was good. Look, I'm just asking questions here. So, yeah, we're going to move on to the next scene. If you don't,
I don't
like
think anyone knows what that means, sir. Jacques, nobody knows when you
if
say
you don't like
that
the
what that
questions
means.
the scene was asking, it's, we'll just have to ask different questions in the next scene. I don't know. Just questions, man.
That's bad.
It's bad.
Anyway.
I think that's all I got for trivia.
All right.
Oh, good.
We stretched this out a while.
Would you put this in the top 250?
No.
No.
If this isn't the clearest we've ever been on a movie.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. That is just a hard no.
What
Never
about
could
that?
be
We
there.
hated, The Help, Hachi. We've had some serious,
Room.
dislike of some
This
films.
is way worse than any of those movies. I'm fresh
this,
off
this
it,
film,
so
this film
it's
is
tough
just
to
so
say.
badly done at so many levels. It is shocking.
Yeah.
It's not just the acting or that it does all these different things and it does each one bad. It's not just
Right.
it's not
Like
just bad-
astoundingly bad.
Right, but bad directing, sound, everything. Okay, fine, everything's bad there. But then any topic it picks or tries to go after, also bad. Just
Yep.
so it's kind of startling how many levels it does badly at. Like how many different things it takes on, it does it badly.
I know.
Startling, shocking, unbelievable.
Again,
Hey, man, just asking questions.
unique experience. That's right.
Does this movie deserve 13 nominations? That's just a question. I don't know.
Are we being blacklisted by Hollywood now because we're too bold? I don't know. I'm just asking the question.
Is this movie terrible or is it groundbreaking?
That's
a
right.
question.
It is a question.
Nobody
And
knows.
if you're wondering, then I've made you ask that question, didn't I?
Right. Yeah.
Isn't that what life is all about?
Questions.
It's asking questions.
Sure.
God.
All right. Well, what are we doing next
Anyway,
week?
yeah.
Actual
No
film,
fucking
or are we
questions.
gonna,
That's
Yeah.
a good question, TC.
yeah.
Are any of the other foreign movies available yet?
Oh, that's
what is
what
it?
sucks. Yeah.
Is I'm Still Here available? That's the one I really want to watch. It's been unavailable for a while. Looks like it's still unavailable. God damn it, man. Why not make these things available for us? I'm pretty sure there are no other Oscar movies that I want to watch ever again.
Not just today, but
No,
ever again.
Fucking ever. I think I'm actually done with movies, guys. It's nice talking with you. It's been a really fun past 8 years. Goodbye forever.
I think we've reached the bottom, so we can just
Yeah.
call it a wrap. But a lot of people are saying they think a Complete Unknown is going to kind of run in and sweep things out now that there's sort of this vacancy with what the front one.
Oh, filling in the power vacuum, huh?
Yeah.
It's going to be the mediocre Bob Dylan pseudo documentary, whatever the fuck you want to
Oh,
call
no.
it. Biography.
I don't want to watch that one.
Okay.
It'd be kind of cool if something weird one. If the fucking Substance one, that'd make me so happy. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
great, though.
It would be great. Demi Moore has a good chance, though. at
Dune
least,
2 as well. That could win Best
Oh.
Picture.
Oh,
That'd be
that
interesting.
would be remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Well,
have to wait
I
and find
guess
out.
we'll have to do
All
some texting around to figure out what the hell we're going to watch next.
Yeah, and I always say this too. Like, go to the website, see what's coming up next. But the last couple
Didn't
times,
even
I think
update
I've,
that either.
it's like
Yeah.
we're never going to watch the movie Flow. So if you were tracking and you saw the movie Flow up in what we're going to watch, you can thank John for that. We're not going to watch it. It's a cat in a boat for 2 hours. Nothing happens.
Oh.
That's
Moving on.
pretty
Yeah,
much it.
stop.
It was made in Blender, which is really cool. But yeah, like an open source software that is really good at 3D stuff. But yeah. Then,
We'll figure it out.
all right.
Yes, we will. All right.
And if not, back to the list. We got the 2 towers waiting for us.
That is
We're
true.
ready.
That is true.
That's true. All right, boys.
All right.
Talk soon.
Guys, take
Talk to you
care.
next time.
I'm on the